This episode is going to be brought to us by Joshua Tree Coffee. The coffee for co-hosts. Very good. Hey, Kathleen, did you see those videos of New Jersey coastline? Ventnor looked like it was underwater.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, they have a big storm there, obviously. You
Hmm.
didn't see that either.
I didn't.
Well, let me tell you about what's happening around you, Kathleen.
Yeah, tell me all about it, Paul, because I'm in my own little world. I saw
Mm.
fireworks here last night, an entire fireworks show, unexpected, right here from my window, and
Oh,
nobody else knew they happened. I can't find it on the news. I can't search it nowhere.
that was pulled by Zen Bitch Slap. We threw a firework display.
All the way to the grand finale.
It's all, it's all,
Sounds like Kathleen was experiencing flashbacks.
uh, uh, no, well, Ocean City and stuff sort of went underwater, but the buildings look exactly the same as the buildings in Ventnor. Yeah, they must have had some mafioso construction companies that just made the same house. Uh, well, you want to start, whoever it is?
Yeah. So that's me. I'm filling in for Martin today.
Oh, all right, Jess.
Yeah, hi. Um, so I'll just read the little opening script. Welcome everyone to the Reflections on the 12 Steps. Just a friendly announcement. This is not an AA meeting. This is just one member's view on the exact nature of the wrong, as described on page 64 of the Big Book and the solutions contained within. This is not an all share meeting, though shares there will be, but actually a question and answer meeting with Paul.
Great.
So I picked a little bit from page 103. It's the last page of Working with Others. Um, just the first kind of main paragraph there. So it says, we are careful never to show intolerance or hatred of drinking as an institution. Experience shows that such an attitude is not helpful to anyone. Every new alcoholic looks for this spirit among us and is immensely relieved when he finds we are not witch burners. A spirit of intolerance might repel alcoholics whose lives could have been saved had it not been for such stupidity. We would not even do the cause of temperate drinking any good, for not one drinker in 1,000 likes to be told anything about alcohol by one who hates it. That was really the bit that stood out to me, but I can keep going till the end if you think.
Yes. Keep going to the end.
Okay. Someday, we hope that Alcoholics Anonymous will help the public to a better realization of the gravity of the alcoholic problem. But we shall be of little use if our attitude is one of bitterness or hostility. Drinkers will not stand for it. After all, our problems were of our own making, bottles were only a symbol. Besides, we have stopped fighting anybody or anything. We have to. So yeah, I guess I just picked that bit because um I had tried to stop drinking on my own, or I had basically stopped drinking on my own for a couple of years, and then but I was always such a thing when I went anywhere. Everybody had to know about it. Oh, I don't drink. I'm not drinking, and I used to be so judgmental of everyone who was drinking, and um yeah, that just kind of, and then when I started going to AA, it just that totally changed. I didn't care about what other people were, that dropped, and that was such a relief because I didn't feel like this alone. I have to prove to everyone I'm different and stuff. So, yeah.
Yes, it's one of the many common expressions, yeah, of the head. The one thing I take a question to is, after all, our problems were of our own making. I don't believe that
Mm.
anymore. I just don't. Because if they were of our own making and we believe we're so unique, we would have had unique problems, but we don't. We have shared problems. Yeah. And the relief is also shared because the cause of the problems is the same, and what we get relief from is the same. And this is what it's the whole event has commonality in there. And then the head would like to see it as singularity and terminal uniqueness. And that's just not a phenomena. That's that's manufactured by the system. The system wants to continue, and it needs us more than we need it, so to speak. Yeah. So it keeps us in a state of not knowing. And you can see the examples of it. A lot of people who have incredible a level of hyper alcoholism are the last ones to know. Yeah, that would seem strange unless you get the understanding that something took all of us over, and that something is the same. The us that has been taken over isn't, but that which has taken us over is the same. So we get relief from the same thing. Yeah, then the relief can be expressed differently because we're seemingly different, but the sameness of the defeat is what we get relief from. And I humbly believe that at some point this it's like a parasitical movement. It grew to such a strength that it basically took over the host. Yeah. And then it used the host to express itself through. And if you see other uh, parasites, real things that you could like see under a microscope or something, those parasites, their movements are very similar to the mental parasitical movement of alcoholism. They need the host to go places and to express through and to really like a nest or something that they can grow in. And the biggest threat to a parasite would be the knowledge of the host. If the host knew it was a parasite, it would probably do something about it. But in alcoholism, the parasite neutralizes the host, and the host takes itself to be the parasite, which is incredible, really. So while we're driven by the parasite, we have a narration that we're doing every step of the way. It's insane, isn't it? When you're going to hell, you're thinking you're the one doing all the deciding. Yeah. It's not only you're going to be fucked when you arrive, you're fucked as you're getting there because you're presented as the doer of this shit. And it comes to, in some people, it comes to a logical, though insane conclusion, which is, I hate myself. Yeah. Or I'm my own worst enemy. That's insane. That's an insane condition to live from. It is, literally. If you were someone who's going to run a race, those would probably be the two worst starting postures ever, which is I hate myself and I'm my own worst enemy. That's insane. I just insane, insane. So I don't agree, and I'm just a member, and it says, this power is going to constantly reveal to us stuff, and people who come after us are going to add on to it, and we're just adding on to a recognition of the exact nature of the wrong. I don't think it works. How are you going to have no regret for the past and not shut the door on it if you believed you were the doer of everything that was ever done? You're going to constantly revisit the past to have a shower of guilt and shame. Yeah. It's going to bring you back to those memories because you're captured in the past by the parasite. Yeah. Just keep bringing it. You can be sober for 40 years and then still believe something 41 years ago was your resentment. It's insane. Yeah, it says very clearly in the book, resentment is a manifestation of self in one's life. Yeah, it's not yours. That's an important point to recognize what is of you and what is of not you. Because the parasite has it as us. Yeah, it's just you may be doing very cool things today, but your head is occupied by you were the doer of very terrible things a year ago. Yes, every morning waking up and carrying the past and then having it just projected as a future. If that ain't bondage, I don't know what is. Do you really need Do you really believe bondage is only of the physical? It has to be a handcuff or a rope or something. Bondage is of the head. Yeah. We're occupied and we're not much, but we're all that we think about. That's insane. It's truly insane. Yeah. So, yes. And of course, you will make this mistake. A lot of people become, like missionaries. Yeah. And they're like the brimstone, fire and brimstone type. You're gonna die if you're drinking. Then, yeah, they probably learn also that it's not working. And the point is not for us to be right, but to be of maximum use. And this is what this paragraph's about. Yeah, you're not of maximum use if you start playing God with the active alcoholic. Yeah. You're going to hell or something like that. Yeah. They're already in a subjective hell. They're probably comfortable there. Huh? So, of course, this is coming out of this incredible manufactured fog, there's going to be a lot of mistakes and there's going to be a lot of suggestions given. And then there'll be a lot of mistakes about those suggestions. Yeah. But the thing gets worked out. It's an organic growth recovery. And it has really done quite well, eh? What church has 600 meetings a week? So we have 600 meetings a week in San Francisco about. Any time of the day and night. Yes, there's services constantly. That is a response to the activity of the disease. Yes, it needs to be addressed quite often. You can't just go once a week usually. You need to be on top of things and have a community and have an outlet, which is service opportunities. Yeah. All right, so we are careful never to show intolerance or hatred of drinking as an institution. I was just here, well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't bother me at all, really. Now, if people started shooting coke at the table like last night, then maybe that would hit a more traumatic memory, seriously. But drinking is, yeah. Experience shows that such an attitude is not helpful to anyone. And remember, we're meant to be of maximum use. That's the point, yeah? And they found that that isn't of maximum use, being righteous and judgmental. Yeah. So you can be righteous and judgmental, but just keep it to yourself. Yeah. And if you go into a meeting, I always love this because I've observed this quite a lot. A newcomer will be in the meeting and they will talk about how safe they feel and how accepted they feel. And yet everyone in the meeting has done an inventory on them and probably has a huge lack of tolerance for them. But because the we overrides the me in our program, that the love and tolerance as our code gets expressed through the group consciousness, even though the singularities are all not loving and not tolerant at the same moment. Isn't that incredible? So it really doesn't matter about how you feel. It's where we are. Yeah. Just like now. Yeah. Where we are can override how you feel. If just given the freaking chance. Yeah. So experience shows that such an attitude is not helpful to anyone. Every new alcoholic looks for the spirit among us and is immensely relieved when he finds we are not witch burners. A spirit of intolerance might repel alcoholics whose lives could have been saved had it not been for such stupidity. We would not even do the cause of temperate drinking any good, for not one drinker in 1,000 likes to be told anything about alcohol by one who hates it. Someday we hope that Alcoholics Anonymous will help the public to a better realization of the gravity of the alcoholic problem. It's successful. It has succeeded in that wish fantastically. Yeah, fantastically. It has been used by so many other things. Yeah. Almost all the richest rehabs depend on AA. The ones that they pay $40,000 a month to go to, they're brought to AA meetings. Yeah, they are. And they probably get a sponsor from AA. Yeah. Does any money go to AA? Probably not. Yeah. Yet it's the gift that keeps on giving. It's been applied to fucking everything. Food, sex, gambling, money, everything. Yeah. So congratulations, guys and women. You've succeeded. AA is a major relief. But we shall be of little use if our attitude is one of bitterness or hostility. Drinkers will not stand for it. It's like Rule 62. Don't take yourself so seriously. Yes, you're not that important to be indignant when there's something else going on, like being of use to somebody else. I mean, you can grow into the habit of not making everything about you. You can. Yeah. I've learned it a lot. I remember before I used to be very uncomfortable at family gatherings and weddings and stuff. Yeah. And I used to drink gin and tonics. And I never got over this. I was expecting to feel the effect of the drink right away, and I didn't. So I kept drinking. And then I'd get whacked and I'd be completely drunk on the gin and tonics because I was waiting and it came in all at once. Yeah. And so my family and I never wanted to go, and my family learned not to have me go. Yeah. And then when I got sober, I started going back to my sisters and brothers' kids' weddings. Yeah. Because it wasn't all about me. And I would go there. I'd just play a role because I looked like my brother and my sister. And that was that. And I'd go home and there you were. So uh, there's a lot of places I won't go if it's all about me. There's almost no place I won't go if it's all about. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Stop the proceedings. I don't feel comfortable here. Close that casket. I want this to be about me. This is insane. So, uh, so after all, I believe our problems are not of our own making. That's why I believe you can have a true relief from it, because I do not believe our problems are of our own making concerning all the alcoholism and shit. I believe we've been taken over by something. And I mean, if you would go to every state and investigate these crimes, you would see it was done by one thing. Yes, self. Self travels very well. It does. And You go to Pennsylvania, it'd be the same. New York, Italy, yeah, because the seeming criminal only has a certain set of traits that are expressed through everyone it robs. Yes, yes. It's not, you see it not through the individual, but through the masses. You can see that there's been a takeover. Because why would you end up in the same 3 parking spaces as all these people that you think you are very different from? Why do you end up in institution, jails, and death? Why? If you're so unique, something drove you to the same place the other person who thought they were so unique got driven to. Let's recognize the driver. Yeah, you don't have to get rid of the car. You don't. You got to change the driver. And we admit we can't change the driver, and we ask for help, and then something does for us what we can't do for ourselves, which is as the car, I can't change the driver. And now suddenly the driver gets changed and I drive better as a car. That's simple. And maybe I park in different places, maybe in service, maybe in empathy, maybe in peace, maybe in serenity. Yeah, yeah. So this was all about working with others, obviously, just attempting to get people. You ever watch when you're at you bring the dog to the vet, and the dog realizes it's at the vet, and it sort of flips out, it starts dragging itself. This is like the alcoholic, really. Once it starts smelling something, there's a huge resistance comes over it. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. But if you get in there, when the dog comes out, it's probably going to feel relieved because something was taken out of its paw or something. Yes? It doesn't see that. Well, the alcoholic, obviously, the parasite is attempting to blind us to getting the relief from the parasite. But once we can get in, yeah, once you can sit at that meeting and then maybe put the chairs up afterward and talk to somebody for a minute or two, it may give you a momentum to come to the meeting the next day or that night. Yes? And then begrudgingly or gratefully, you'll realize something is doing for you what you can't do for yourself. That's what happened. I was in AA, and in about 8 weeks, I realized I hadn't drank or used in 8 weeks, and I came to believe to me, step 2 is an observation. I came to believe that something could do for me what I couldn't do for myself, because it did. I hadn't drank or used in 8 weeks. Yeah, and then I went right to the 3rd step. And I said, well, you want to sign up for this power that just has kept you sober for 8 weeks? Yeah, I do. Why? Because I'm not managerial quality. So please, yeah. What am I supposed to do? Well, go home and start doing an inventory. Yeah, okay, I will. And I got very helped by Joe and Charlie, who I recommend greatly. The stuff is still there on the web, in the internet. Joe and Charlie were these 2 old dudes from the East, I think the Southeast, and they would go around giving big book seminars. And I heard about it, and I went to one my first year in Sacramento, and it blew my mind. Man, they explained the 4th step. I had done a 4th step, but I didn't see the connection between the first column and my role in things, because I wasn't seeing my role in anything. Yeah. And then they explained it again, and I got it. I went to my little motel room on the break, and I did an inventory. Yeah. And then I shared it with my sponsor when I got home. And there was all these people who were enthusiastic about sobriety there. It was mind-boggling. It was really on fire, and it was great. I have a lot of gratitude to those guys. I went one or two more times, and then I felt like I got enough of it. Yeah. But it really, the lack of understanding was really one of my big disadvantages. Yeah. I wasn't understanding how fucked I was, and I wasn't understanding my role in things. Yeah. And they explained it to me. And then it was applied. And then once I saw my role in things, I was allowed really to see self's role in things. Yeah. I had to first do the inventory to see my role in things. Then through the inventory, I saw self's role in things. Yeah. And then I lost interest in flagellating and mea culpaing Paul, and I saw the exact nature of what had defeated me as foreign to me. And I remember I got I got bushwhacked by my first amend. It was a trip. I was riding a motorcycle, and I had this girl Wendy who died from this disease later, and my friend and his girlfriend, and we went back to my friend's apartment. And as we were walking up to his apartment, a woman went by, an Asian woman, and she had like paint on her pants and stuff. Didn't make any, didn't, I didn't acknowledge it that much. And we went into his place and we were hanging out, drinking coffee, obviously. And suddenly he had to go down to the bike. And as he came back in, he had run into his neighbor and he said, Paul, my neighbor would like to talk to you. And I thought I was a house painter. I bluffed myself into house painting. So I thought I was going to give her advice. And she came into the living room and she said, hello, Paul, do you remember me? I said, no. She says, you owe me $500. So I had taken $500 as a down payment to move into an apartment that wasn't mine. Yeah, I took the 500 and I spent it. And so I got caught with my first amends, and you would think I would have felt really uncomfortable because at that point I took my face to be my ass, and she had basically pulled my pants down, and there I was, the naked alcoholic. But I didn't. The first thing that came through my head was I would have done to you, I would have done what I did to you to anybody unless you could physically stop me. And that was one of my first recognitions of the foreignness of the nature of what had defeated me. Yeah. And then I sent her that money. And every time I wrote a check, I said, you're only seeing this because of AA. And then she ended up calling me for advice for the next year or two. So sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. But the light that seems to come through the door just triggers the light that you already are. Yeah. The light of the understanding of AA and what's actually going on triggers the light that's in and of us. So now you start to see more clearly. Yes. And I felt I was brought to that self is what has defeated us and self is in us. And I got tired of listening to everyone claim self's manifestations over and over and over again. When we're talking about self manifestations, we call it mine, my fear, my this, my that. And to me, this is the continuation of the bondage of self. So here we are on a Thursday, Tuesday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It doesn't matter because I humbly believe if you don't see the exact nature of the wrong, you're going to be seen as the exact nature of the wrong. If you don't see the exact nature wrong, you're going to be pinned with the exact nature of the wrong. Yeah. And you are going to look at the past and you are going to regret it. And you want to shut the door on it. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you for the reading and stuff.
Thanks, Paul. Joey had his hand up. Did you want to still come in, Joey?
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm so grateful to be able to talk on such a beautiful occasion. This is the first time I've been to the 12 steps with Mr. Paul. Yeah, it's such a serious, affliction, I guess, to use some kind of, word. And while Paul was speaking, I was thinking of, resonating with some truth in there as a healer myself and spiritual guide. And yeah, I think, what I could say for sure, because, with such a serious thing, have to be careful with your words, and where you go with your language. And, we don't know people's past and their goals for the future. But yeah, I think in that way, I guess it's technically like a mindfulness, simple kind of thing, but letting yourself commit to something like a one step, and in that way, there are steps after that, seeing that hope in there for yourself, but allowing your attention to just come into that one place where you are and be able to achieve for yourself, one thing at a time, and that it's a good thing, and it's kind of like we can be so high and lofty, with our words, especially spiritual teachers and non-dual and everything, up in the clouds, and we're correct and we're true and we're elegant, and to come back all the way down, into that place of relevance for people that are afflicted with something, to really help them. It takes humility to be able to do that and just allow that attention to be on that one step that you can truly realistically do for yourself. And like I said, knowing that there are other positive steps after that one. So I guess a kind of a little bit wisdom of the benefit of being humble to share something today. And this is great. I'm so grateful for this, and all around the world, so beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joey. We've also got Chris with his hand up there. If you want to come in, Chris.
Hey everyone. Hey Paul. Yeah, I too just want to say thank you. And I also want to build a little bit on, you pointed out going way back how the originators of AA hoped that this would kind of catch on and help people deal with alcoholism, and how that's been wildly successful in all other areas. There's even like Emotions Anonymous, there's all sorts of things. But even you're going one step beyond that, which is why I'm here as someone who has not had an alcohol or a substance problem, but the addiction to selfing, the faith, as you have drilled home, faith we usually associate between, it only applies to like a spiritual thing. My faith, I'm a person of faith. It was like, no, you're like, I had faith, it's just in something else. And so that those two things too, it's like the whole AA thing, as I start to understand it more, it applies so broadly. It's not just to other specific, nameable addictions like drugs or porn or whatever. It really is just like the human condition, which just expresses itself in some people in a, where they go to try to escape that is alcohol. And I promise you, like, where I go to try to escape it is just as much an addiction, just as much a dead end. Not It's worse than a dead end. It ruins, you know the life of the action figure and the people around him. And there's just you're just like some miracle that's just come in here, just given you, where your particular life experience that's brought you to this strange place, that where you're able to bring this message from this angle. My son went on jury duty a few months ago, and the case I think was something to do with a drunk driver, or something to do with alcohol was involved. And when they were screening the jury members, they asked, have any of you ever had a family member who's attended an AA meeting? That was like one of the screening questions. And my kid was like, I don't know exactly how to answer that, because, yeah, this isn't an AA meeting, I guess. For people who go to real AA meetings, this isn't an AA meeting. For people like me who don't, I'm getting a lot from AA. I'm getting a lot from the people who originated AA. everyone here today sharing their experiences, and you kind of going, AA says the problem is addiction to self. And and if that's true, then that's the problem. It's not just the alcoholic's problem. So I just want to say this is just such a I don't even know how I found you a couple years ago. I have no idea how I dropped into this. Uh, I don't know. So just I just want to applaud and say amen and thank you.
Well, thank you for being a part of the whole us here. Yes. Yeah. Well, we talked about it last night. Remember, a lot of people in AA said just change the word drinking to thinking. Yeah. It's describing your drinking. You could apply it to the thinking. Do not apply it to your thinking because it's not your thinking. It's it's thinking. It's a whole lot of thinking about you, but it doesn't make it yours. That's the beauty, really. Yeah. If you, yeah, there's a couple of GPSs on the market. One of them is very self-centered, and many of us somehow was signed up for the subscription, and we got the apps, and we continue to get the apps activated without our knowledge. Yeah. Yeah.
The auto update happens and
All the addictions, the expression of action to try to get out of something, which could be called an addiction, are rooted in the exact nature of the wrong. Yeah. And you're trying to get out of the cause of the addiction as the addiction. Yes. So self is trying to get out of self. And no matter how many times self hears that, it doesn't get it. But you do, I hope. Yeah, because you are not self. So we're the unspoken majority, the silent majority of the us. Yeah. So we have been defeated by self through its manifestations, but the us is now given a voice and a recognition. And what life does, uh, it through this program, it shifts the emphasis from the self to the us. Yeah. Yeah. And then you see life differently, and seemingly life treats you differently. And it's just a different view that we can't produce ourselves. So we admit that, we enter the program, we take some suggestions, we follow the best we can. We try not to go back to the alcohol or the food or the drug or whatever it is, or the porn. When we fail, we get up and just do again. And then uh, perhaps there's a better way, and sooner or later you can get caught in that jet stream, and that which was difficult will now become easy, and you'll end up getting into the habit of being sober. Yeah.
it's just amazing because like you said a couple of times, sometimes you're not necessarily helping someone by preventing them from hitting their bottom.
Yes.
And it's like these guys and generations of people, guys and women in the 30s, whatever, and the generations before them really suffering. And if they hadn't experienced that level of suffering and complete like inability to run their own life, basically, they never would have hit on this. And it's very similar to like some deliberate spiritual practices that people do. That you exhaust your ability, you just realize your own limitations, I guess, finally. And so you look back and think, what a good thing, what a great thing that happened to them, even though they may not have enjoyed most of their life. And maybe that's part of your experience too, and it's definitely mine.
Yes. It's like you don't regret the past because it's allowed you to be what you are in the present, so to speak. Yeah. And exactly. So the problem resides in the mind. So the mind is not going to be the source of the solution to it. Yeah. So if you like the term God, there is a God, and then there's a playing God in the mental state. Yeah. Yeah. And we want to introduce the playing God in the mental state to God. Yeah. And usually it will either begrudgingly, uh, with great resistance, bow down to the higher power. Yeah. As concerning you, it has you. Yeah. It has you. You're neutralized. You've been taken over. You can't trust you as far as you can throw yourself. It has you in such a condition. But the higher power has not been affected by all of its shenanigans. Yes? And then the little dog that's masquerading as the big dog, when the big dog gets introduced, it goes back to being the little dog. Yeah? Yeah. We just need a big dog. And that is the higher power. Yeah. So now you access, it's always readily available. We haven't been, yeah, by believing the head so much. But when you become available to it through following the suggestions of the program, uh, that influence will start, and it should override the influence of the lower power. And like in this case, I couldn't stay sober for a couple of hours a day. I've been now sober 37 years. So yes, it's a very proven. It's not a phenomena. It is a phenomena, but it can be manufactured. Yes, yes. You may be led. It may seem to take time. It's not going to be a sudden awakening, so to speak, maybe, but awakening nonetheless. So you wake up to that which you're not, and then that really triggers what you are, yeah, which is spirit, like say. And then
It
the spirit becomes the dominant influence. The head keeps chirping, but you don't have, you're not in the habit of listening to it anymore. Yeah.
it feels to me like this morning I got this whack out of nowhere, as you would call it. And I'm like, what led, I wasn't doing anything, I wasn't, meditating or thinking about anything. And it has this feeling to me of like, the gardener can like turn up all the dirt in the garden and get it all ready and whatever, but like what makes the tomato grow is like, that's not the gardener.
Yes.
It's some miracle of life that even science would be like, yeah, that's a miracle. Like we still can't really, we still really don't know where life comes from. And that's how it feels. Like the satsang, and it's just like you just keep like preparing the way, kind of, but you can't control, you can't go somewhere. And then it just this morning there's something just like happened to me. I
Yeah.
just felt a huge sense of like a fist unclenching and just a deep relaxation and a deep peace, followed, of course, by intermittent fear of when that's going to wear off. But anyway,
Yes. This is what happens. Something does, it's going to happen with no thought effort on your part. You're going to see more and more of life in that view. Yes. You're going to see a lot of stuff happens with no thought effort on your part. A
I just
lot.
really, really appreciate you. That's
Yes.
one. And there's other people waiting to talk, and I just wanted to say that, like, you are like a semi unsung hero, so, semi sung hero. I don't know.
Grateful member of recovery, really.
Yeah, you're just
Yeah, seriously.
your your metaphors and examples of the big dog masquerading, the little dog masquerading as the big dog, and it meets the big dog, the dog shit awareness, and there's just they just all just
They were all well earned.
but they're yours. They're not like, hey, let me quote some Zen. You do sometimes Zen stories from 1,000 years ago. Those are cool. But like when you come out with just like, I didn't shit on the lawn, my dog did. It's like I am accountable. I got to go clean it up, but I don't need to feel bad because I didn't do it. Like they're just so they're just so they just or it just they're so authentic. They're what a Zen person would have said if I don't know.
It works because, there's, we have other people, so then I'll get back to it. But thank you, man. Let's bring Matt in from Chicago and two others, eh? but not at the same time. Matt first, I guess.
Yeah, I think my hand went up just before John's, and I'll make it real quick. Yes, Paul, you've talked about the repetition, of doing this, and I remember, I think last time, you mentioned nobody's on a treadmill, and I'm sitting here, I'm ready to get on my elliptical and listen to you, and listen to the rest of the meeting, and it was pointed out to me by a woman in the program who's been very helpful, that allowing stuff to wash over me, right? Like, even if I can't focus and just be present for this, and that's probably the bigger issue, but just allowing this to wash over me, yeah, while I'm doing whatever I'm doing. Yeah, I don't know, man. Thanks. I'm beginning to even establish relationships in this community, I'm going to come in and visit. I mentioned that. And Michael said he might join me on my pilgrimage. And, it's great just being a part of this. And I needed something more, right? Or I wasn't doing AA right, or, just thank you. Yeah, thank you all.
Well, thank you, bro. Yes, yes. Yeah. There's a lot of rest areas along the highway that everyone's trudging. Yes. They're not all franchise rest areas. So, some of you ever been pulled over and you go to a sort of like a unique place? It's sort of cool. Yeah. 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 They did an extra little touch, just some kind of, you appreciate it. It's like art. It's very nice. So, yes, we're just one of many rest stops. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Thank you, bro. Yeah. Who's the
Thanks,
next?
Matt. John B.
John B.
Hi, Paul. Yes, John from Glastonbury. Um,
Glastonbury.
yeah. Um, yeah, it's just love the meeting. I love this. I love these meetings so much. Yeah, I do AA meetings on on a Wednesday night. It's my home group. I do another meeting on Saturday morning in my hometown, and I do these meetings on Tuesday and Thursday. It's And I love the ballot. Or in my home group, I always just share. My friend Paul says this. My friend Paul says that, and it's like, yeah. So it's getting. I just love. It's amazing, In the fifth, I think in the fourth edition of the latest edition in 2005 of the Big Book says we'll be talking modem to modem. That was one of the things in the appendix was we'll be, AA will be modem to modem, and then COVID happened, and look what happened there. It's like the 12 steps and how global it went. Yeah, it's I mean, my password for the first year or so of recovery on my computer was I'm not going to say the language, but I hate myself in worse language than that. That was the password on my computer. And I shared it in a meeting. I did a main share once, and the guy, I just said, "Oh, I hate myself." And this guy who's relapsed, he relapsed, but he just said, "Oh, that's your disease talking." So even there's that. Like looking back after coming to these lectures, not lectures. After coming to these, it's more chilled than a lecture. But after coming here, it's like, yeah, you can look back and see, oh, that's what was happening. Like that's the disease talking. I just that's one of the ways people around here say that. But it's like that parasite. And I remember cycling. I was about a year sober, and on my bicycle, and we will not regret the past. I must have gone to enough AA meetings to have like it been drummed into this brain. We will not regret the past or wish to shut the door. And I was cycling, and I finally felt some sort of freedom and relief. But at the time, I wouldn't have been able to articulate it in the way. In that moment, that parasite was getting seen. In that moment, we will not regret if you don't. And as you said before, if you've done horrible stuff and you don't regret it, then that's psychopathy. So yeah, that's
Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah, and it's and you're right, you know, like in I don't know if you kill someone drink driving, you might go to jail. Maybe it's a bit longer in America. In England, you'd probably go in for about 5 to 10 years or something. And but the head could keep that. You could be in a meeting 35 years sober
Oh,
and
yeah.
still just be oh, and you would have never have ran, you would never have killed someone drink driving if you yeah, if you weren't completely under the influence of alcohol and the parasite. So yeah, it's yeah, I mean, yeah, it will keep it alive for a long time, that parasite. But yeah, I mean, I feel yeah, I'm free from it today. Yeah, definitely. But I'll leave it there, I think. Cheers.
Yeah, the thing with the statute of limitations, it doesn't have any in the head. Yeah, it will revisit the scene of the crime, of its own crime, and point to us as the doer. Yes, yeah.
Yeah, and you get and there's that a jury in a courtroom would they've all come together and decided, this guy 5 to 10 years, or yeah, you know, you we'll give him 10 years, or her, and they'll probably get out in 5. That's what they deserve. And the head doesn't agree with a crime that it did. Yeah, that's mad. Yeah, but
Wouldn't
yeah,
that
thank you.
would be cool if it was built in. The head had a statute of limitations.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
We caught it reviewing something that's reviewed for 10 years. No,
Yeah, the head doesn't have
don't
much
do
faith
it.
in the judicial system.
You
Yeah,
don't have that app in there. No. Yes, it's the long hand of the past is what is a hand or an arm reaching back there, not coming out of the past. The head reaches back and pulls it out. The head now reaches back and pulls it out. The past isn't reaching from and pulling us back in. The head right now is thinking about the past and pulling the past into the present. Yes? The past is dead. It has no life. It has no reach to grab you now. You have complete immunity now. The head is what reaches into this past to pull something into the present. Yeah? Yes. And then again, not only that, it projects that into a future. But it's all happening right now. It can, if something is happening, it's happening now. If something about the past is happening, it's not happening in the past, it's happening now. The past is just a mental realm at the moment, and the future is a mental realm. And the mental condition right now reaches in, makes up a past and it reaches into it and brings it to the present. And the same with the future, pulls it into the present. The present is not, the past is not haunting you. It's not, it's dead. Yeah, it's dead. Something reaches back there and gives it life. And the life that is given to it is our life. Our life. Our life is given to the past by the mental head. Our life is given to the future by the mental head. It's our life, our life. That could be, as that old Ram Dass thing, being here now, could be in that experience, which is not an experience. Being here now is the fact, but you could be having an experience of that fact. The head is completely uninterested in that. It wants to be here then, back then and in the future. It just keeps reaching, pulling shit out and bringing it here. Yeah. It's not regretting the past. You're regretting the past right now in the present. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Give life to the past, and now you regret the past now.
Yeah.
and there's a freedom from it. Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I've never heard you say that before. Yeah, with like haunted by the past. Yeah, it's a common phrase in the English language, isn't it? Or the past is haunting me, but that past, we're getting close to Halloween. But yeah, all those the hands don't come out of the past. It's something here now
It's
that's
like
reaching.
the horror movies where the hand comes out of the grave. And
Yeah,
no, it's not that at all.
no,
That's why it likes to present it. Oh, it's really that way. The
yeah,
hand comes out of the grave. No, no, it's the head reaching in to the
absolutely.
grave, pulling something out. Yes.
Yes.
It's all happening now, all of it, all of it. There's nothing has any happening quality unless it's now.
Yeah.
Nothing. The past has to be breathed life into by the present. The present is what gives life to the future. Yeah.
Mm.
We are present. We are.
Yes.
That's our nature. We
Mm.
are the reason for this whole event is awakeness. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
wouldn't know you had an event unless you were awake to it. So here we are awake, and the head rather have you be put to sleep by a lullaby of the past and a story about the future. Yes. Yeah.
Definitely.
So you see it, and it doesn't change its nature. This is, I think, the mistake. Trying to change its nature, you lose interest in its nature. That's all. You don't try to change it. If you change it, you get sucked into the whole thing. You just see it, tell the truth, see it, and hopefully whatever idea or opinion that arises will be given to the higher power to digest. Yeah. And then the higher power will regurgitate it into you now, and you will have a different vision or a different view. Yeah. Not by you getting better, but by you being open to the higher power. Yeah, the higher power will tell you what's going on instead of the lower power incessantly trying to tell you what went on, what's going to go on, and what's going on now. Yeah, there is a huge difference. Yeah. So, but we need to get established. And what better establishment is to see what has defeated you as foreign to you? What better establishment can you be in? Is to recognize that which has defeated me as not me, so I can be free from it. Yeah. When? Not in the past or the future, now. Can I take a picture every second of being free from it? No. You won't have even that much interest in it. You'll just be enjoying the freedom. Yeah. Enjoying the freedom is when I go to the Vista today at 2:30 in the afternoon. No, enjoying the freedom is at 11:28. Yeah, a second. Your head can't keep up with it. It's not a stenographer keeping up with the peace of the moment. It just blocks it out, the head. Yes? It's waiting for an event, for a remembered event or a future drama or something like that. This looks boring to it. It's not taking any notes about the present. It isn't. It's not sitting there writing it down. It really isn't. Yeah. It's empty of interest in it. That's part of the joy of it. Yeah. The head's fingers aren't all around it. It's not marked it all up. And so I'm sitting here in this space of this meeting, a loving presence expressing itself through our group conscience. Yeah. And basically, there's no stenographer. The head's not taking, at 10:45 of the meeting. No, it's just hasn't ever been written about. And that's the real beauty of it. Seriously. I don't know what the fuck was said like last night. Yeah, no idea. Never have any. I have no idea. Oh, that talk 3 weeks ago. Sometimes I feel a little different. So then I'll tell somebody, yeah, I would listen to this one talk. Yeah, because I felt it had a different energy imprint. Yeah. So, but mostly it's just here. Let the water. Do you capture the water when you're taking a shower? No, the water runs down. Yeah, just Life can just run through you. Yeah. Yeah. Is everything, every moment a big moment? No. Yeah. So, all right. Joey, if you want to come in, and we got to end soon. So we got to.
Thank you for letting me say something again. Yeah. Yeah, this is like like I said, it's such a well, I'll just get to it. Yeah, so the thing that came for me that I wanted to share is and I was going to ask about John B in the UK, his group, if that's available to other people. I would love to check it out. Um, but yeah, that other people, are in this with us, that they're, because, afflictions can be so isolating and so, even with our society with computers and phones and, shiny, beautiful water bottles and GPSs, it can be such an isolating experience. That's hell, obviously. And um, yeah, being in recognition of that fact that that there are other people in the process of it, of healing and trusting in that. And yeah, I mean, it's such a powerful thing to resonate with, the help of other beings, the help of other humans. And I'm sure that in the 12 steps, in that way, I mean, I know I remember some language of admitting powerlessness, to use that word boldly, admitting admitting being the important word, right? Admitting meaning where you are at, being honest with yourself. And it can make it a lot easier, even if you don't go yet to other people for their help, just to know that it's real, to know that it's there, which is exactly what this group is. And it's such a wonderful, wonderful, needed thing. Even if the disease, if that's the right word, the affliction does go away forever, in our species, this is something that, support remains there, and it's a constant, and it's such a wonderful thing. And of course, gratefulness being something for today, and, with not just myself, but other people. And yeah, yeah. And I guess patience, patience in the process of it. And yeah, that not everything is overnight right away. And yeah, that it's okay to enjoy life while struggling with something, in that kind of way, that you don't need to make it worse for yourself, and all of that, some wisdom, I guess, in that kind of way. Thank you for the being able to share on here.
You're welcome,
Awesome.
bro. All right. Well, I think it's time for goodbyes. Yes? Yeah. Jess, thank you very much. Yeah. Michael, Stacy, as always. Joey, thank you. Kathleen, Rico Cruz, my main man. Vlad, always a pleasure. Yeah, we're going to have an event in January in Joshua Tree, January 8th to the 11th. So we'll have more stuff on it, but it's going to be a gathering, and we'll have a live meeting or two. And so if you're down in the Southern Cal, we're more than happy. We'd love to see you there. And there's going to be a group, so you can contact us. I have nothing to do with it, which is great. So it'll be posted though soon. We got Matt in Chicago on the treadmill. Yes. John, Florida, as always. Saraswati, she's on the East Coast. Yeah. Vlad, Portugal. Rico, Rick Rowe in Toronto. Joseph, France. Andy Perkins. Nice to see you, brother. Yeah. John B in the UK. Chris B, Boston area. Roman Mueller next to the radiator. Yeah. Eileen in Arizona, but from New York. Peter, Arizona, New York. Ruby Rose, Kansas. All grace to you. Taylor, iPhone. Travis, Kay. We have a sunny day in Northern Cal. Mostly we always do. We've had rain for a few days. So. Kay, nice to see you. Sean, NorCal, as always. Heather, Wabi, Bukowski, yes. He's living under an alias, but I know who he is. So let's see. Let's go to others. We have Steve in San Diego. Thanks. Nice to see you, Steve. Darshan, he's down there also. Nice to see you. Sean in Tacoma. Cassandra, I always miss the A in there. Yeah. We've never met a R we didn't like in East Coast. Yeah, just forget it. Travis, there I saw you again. Hey, listen, hey, thank you so much. Remember, there's a loving presence that's expressing itself through our group conscience. Yeah. When you're feeling useless, you're being used. Just remember, seriously. Yeah, you're being used right now in a lovely manner. Yeah. Don't let the head discuss and convince you that nothing's going on. It's ridiculous. Yeah, you're always being put to use. So, brothers, nice to see everyone. Take it
Nice
easy.
seeing you, Paul. See you in Joshua Tree.
Thanks, Paul.
Yes, thank you for your love and service.
Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody. Have a nice day.
Yay, Joshua Tree. Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, Josh.
Nice to see you, Kathleen.
Thank you, everyone.